take notes. Everything I'm going to go over with you, I've been doing for the better part of a year now for the first time. So I can confidently tell you I've screwed it all up, learned, got better, still screwing it up, but getting better. So if you want to talk about this any over the weekend or over the time you're here, I'm happy to sit down and do it. All of what I'm going to share with you is just mimicking something I learned from Ian Pruckner at a meeting somewhere in Michigan or Ohio, I don't know where we were, but it just makes sense to me because some of my background is business to business type work, and this to me is just another oar in the water. So I'll be happy to send this stuff to you, whatever. I'm a big systems guy. I got to have things 1, 2, 3, 4 for it to make sense to me. So if you're not like that, you're probably not going to like the next 10 minutes. But just hang in there. So the first thing, we talked a lot about mindset, and hopefully you guys understand that thoughts are things. Okay, all that stuff. The book we were talking about and what Ken and Christine share, that's really important. But you are, whether you're the newest person in the room or not, you own your own business right now. And the sooner you think that way, that's different, right? This is not a job. Okay, most people, that's what they think it is in the beginning, but it's not. Okay, this is a business, and day one you start, you are the CEO of your business. Okay, but you got to think that way. Okay, so if you're a business owner, then you need to do what business owners do. And technically it's called hard and soft networking, and I want to walk you through it. The first thing I want to tell you is networking does not replace any of the fundamentals of the company. Okay, everything I'm telling you today, this is literally another oar in the water, another way to paddle, another way to build your business. Okay, it's not the first way, it's not the second way, it's probably not even the third way, but it's another way. So the things that you know and you've heard are things you can add to your business. You still recruit at the kitchen table. Okay, one of the I talk about is in addition to this. So there's two types of networking. And when we talk about networking, the most basic layer, it's businesses, right? You're talking to other people many times that own businesses or maybe more significant in businesses or certain roles in businesses. But there's two ways to go. The first one we're not going to really talk about here, but it's called hard networking. The reason it's called hard is because you normally have a networking group, but in the group there's only one person per profession. So in other words, you might think of hard as like closed networking. The idea behind that is you're not competing with anybody else. So if you're the financial person in a networking group and there's no other financial person in the group, that's a closed or a hard networking group. The most common organization to do that is something called BNI, stands for Business Networking International. And they are basically in every city you can think of, they exist. And this is probably more for people that are full-time because it takes a little bit of a time commitment. But I just looked before I came, and in Dayton there's like 11 groups. And I think 9 out of the 11 did not have the life insurance seat filled. So anybody that wants to jump one of those groups, it's real simple to do. You just go and you visit, and trust me, if you indicate interest in joining, they will allow you to join. Okay.
Where do they get this?
BNI.com is the website. You can go and look at that, and then you can pick out. You can search for chapters, and it'll narrow down to Ohio, narrow down to Dayton. There's one in Vandalia. It's wide open. So it's they're there. And what BNI basically is, it's a one morning meeting a week. Like we're part of a BNI in Springdale, and it meets 7:30 to 9 Wednesday morning, every Wednesday. But the concept is it's a group of other business owners, not necessarily business owners, but business people. And the whole gist of the group is to refer business to each other. Okay, so that's what BNI is. Again, it's wide open. I couldn't find one in Chillicothe, but there's one in Hillsborough, there's one in Mount Orab. I don't know if that's anywhere close or not, maybe not. But so BNI.com to find that. The soft networking is what anybody can do, whether you're full-time, part-time, whatever. All right, and that's the one I'm going to spend a little more time on. It's easy to start with, like your Chamber of Commerce. You can easily become a member of your local chamber, and they'll have events, networking events that you can go to. Usually those are at night. So again, if you're part-time and work through the day, you can do that. And you're just going to meet, to network, get business cards, and I'm going to show you a system to follow up with it. Okay?
How many people would like to have Kathleen on their team? Where'd we find her?
Chamber of Commerce.
Because this stuff works. It's true, live, successful stuff. You just got to do the work.
There's some other, professionalnetworking.com is the website. Meetup is an app you can put on your phone that there's thousands of groups that meet with specific interests. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. Like, it could be a kayak club, it could be a euchre club, it's all that stuff. If you find something of interest, it's just another way to go meet people. Okay? So if you're full-time, I would tell you, you need to find 3 to 4 groups to network in, to become part of. All right? If you're part-time, do one. Just start with one until you kind of cut your teeth and learn what you're doing. But if you have one group you can go to, normally they have an event a month. So if you go to one event a month, you're going to meet some people, and then you'll have something to work with. One of the other things, please don't miss this in your office or with your team. You know, we're the most diverse company you'll ever meet, right? I mean, it doesn't matter to us where you came from, how old you are. None of that crap matters, and it shouldn't matter. But utilize that, okay? I'm looking at Irene, and I'm thinking, Irene, you know, she is a member of an organization called AppNet, right? Is it AppNet? Which stands for?
African Professional Networking.
So the group is effectively people that have immigrated at one point from
African
Okay.
business oriented.
and that's Irene, right? She did the same thing a long time ago, but she's in a group that she immediately has something in common with. It can be the same thing for young people. There's all kinds of young professionals groups. Women, there's all kinds of women's groups. Okay, I mean, just pick something and go. Make sense? But just kind of be on the lookout for it. Aim to go to at least one event per week. What you can count on from this, and this is what gets exciting, if you go to a networking event and you follow the system I'm going to teach you, within 2 weeks you should have a new team member, and at least, 1 second, that's the minimum. Okay?
So full-timers, today is Monday. By Wednesday, I want you guys all to be involved at least in 1 to 2 networking. I mean, that's how you're going to get an endless supply of names and numbers, and this stuff is gold, guys.
So one of the other advantages that I like about it is it just naturally puts you in front of more professional people, or people that are getting after it in some way, shape, or form. And it just kind of raises the bar compared to some other people that we have in front of, okay? Don't judge people, but networking will do that for you. Okay, that ends up putting you in front of business owners, in front of a lot of people that are straight commission. Right, all your P&C people, all your property and casualty license people are straight commission. And they don't make crap, by the way. So, but they're out there turning over rocks and making stuff happen. That's a good person to know. But when you go to these events, these networking events, let's say you go to a Chamber of Commerce event, you're in a room with a whole bunch of people, you can also control the type of person you talk to. And I would coach you to do kind of in the middle. Like what I wouldn't necessarily walk up to is someone who's not as, just in general, not as a rule, because there can be exceptions, but if you see someone that's decked out to the nines, you know, three-piece suit, just perfectly, sometimes that's not going to be your right person. On the other side, if you see someone with, you know, 2 hubcaps in their ears, their pants are around their knees, whatever, that ain't the person you go talk to, right? When we talk about 5-star, I think everybody knows 5-star, right? Married, homeowners, kids, certain age, 25, 55, so forth, have a job. If they're at a networking event, they have a job. Problem. So, you know, I would just tell you, I always start with a ring on the finger. That's the license to me. That's like, there's someone I want to talk to. So I'm talking to someone who's married, I'm almost automatically in the right market. Doesn't mean you don't talk to other people. I'm just saying that's a good way to start. The point is you can control who you talk to. Because when you go to these networking events, your number one goal, what do you think your number one goal is?
Good name.
To get as many names and numbers as you can, right? And that will make some of you stretch to get out of your comfort zone, because it's easy to start talking with somebody and 30 minutes later you haven't talked to anybody else. Okay, so here's what you do, step by step. You go to the event, you introduce yourself to the right people. So we just talked about picking out the right people. And what you want to do, and this will make you different, don't talk about your business. Talk about their business. Okay, so I see Toby in an event, I walk up to Toby, hey Toby, Phil Murphy, how are you? Toby Jones, hey, tell me, what do you do? What do you do?
Contractor.
Contractor, what kind of contract?
Do a lot of remodeling.
Really? Okay, how long have you done that?
10 years.
10 years, so you're obviously pretty good at it. Anything you specialize in or?
Tile.
Tile, okay. So if I wanted to refer business to you, Toby, what would be a great referral?
Both ways, like my business card.
No, what kind of person would be a good referral?
Something that ends the home.
Okay. So I'm just asking 4 or 5 questions.
What books are you using right now?
Skill with people.
And then eventually I'm going to ask him for his business card, right? Now, one other thing that he might ask is what?
What do you do?
What do you do? Now, some people will never get around to that, but some people will. So here's the thing, you got to have an answer to that. And you answer it, and then you ask the question again. We call it your elevator speech or your tagline, right? So if he asks me that, I say the same thing every time. Toby, I own a company that teaches families what banks, credit card companies, insurance companies don't want to know when they go out of business. Now let me ask you, you mentioned you're in the tile business. What kind of tile? I answer, and I'm back on him. I don't want to have that conversation right now, okay? Your goal is to get as many names as you can, and then after the event, 2 to 3 days later, you're going to set one-on-one meetings. Now I'm going to talk. Make sense?
You taping this?
So the networking group is your whole goal, see the right people, get as many business cards as you can. But it's not to talk about yourself, right? You're going to get your chance to do that later. Once you get the cards, 2 to 3 days later after the event, call and set an appointment to meet with them. I think I got it here in just a second. Yeah, so 2 days later, I met Toby. I've got his card, Toby's Tile Company. So here's how you set the appointment, right? I've got his card. 2 days later, I call him, hey, Toby, I don't know if you remember me or not, it's Phil Murphy. We met at the Springdale Chamber of Commerce meeting the other day. And he'll probably say, oh, yeah, I remember that. Now, he's gonna remember me or you because I was different. I didn't just sell him on me. I learned about him, which will make you different than every other person he talks to at that event, right? So he's gonna remember you when you call. Oh, yeah. So, Toby, what I'd like to do is set some time for you and I to sit down together so I can learn more about your business, learn what makes a good referral for you, and hopefully give you, one or two referrals before the end of the week. Is there a time that we can get together to meet? I can do, always give them a choice. I can do Thursday at 1, Friday at 2. What's best for you? Okay, so we go through that and we set a time, right? Now, where you do it is up to you. I do about 99% of mine in my office. I want them on my home turf. Now, you can do Panera, you can do Chipotle, you can do whatever. It's up to you. I think it works better if you're at your place.
So let me stop him real quick, guys. These groups, you're going to find professional people that are doing the right things to grow their business. They're at these meetings, but they're in the wrong vehicle. They can't make the kind of money you can make here. So they're perfect for your business. They're going to love it. So if you do what Phil's saying and use skill with people, you read that book, that's everything Phil just did. And then you bring them to your professional office, they're going to want what you got. If you use this system, this is one of the reasons Ian Partner exploded his business to $1 million a year. Phil's got it down. What do you think? I mean, 30 grand this month? Anybody stomach that?
By the way, too, having them come to your office is more time effective for you.
And that's a good point. And I normally, when I set the appointment, I normally tell people, I've got a 1 and a 3 o'clock in my office. Wednesday I could do 2. Can you do 2 o'clock Wednesday in my office?
Also lends itself to credibility too. Like you actually have an office.
Right. It's a real thing, right?
Brick and mortar.
So here's the whole key. Okay, everything I've told you up to this point hopefully doesn't seem difficult. You have to learn it and practice it. But just meeting people and getting their cards isn't that hard. If you're at a networking event, that's why they're there anyway, right? So that's pretty easy. Calling to set the appointment's pretty easy. You just have to, find a time that fits for both of you. Here's where you make it or break. Okay, when you're actually meeting, you've got to control the meeting. And if you've got an idea of what you're going to do, the other person doesn't. Okay, almost everybody you sit down with, they're amateurs. They're going to sit down with you and all they're going to tell you about their business and blah, 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 and that's fine. We're going to get to that. But you have a plan and an expectation before you meet. And what you have to do is convey that to that person. So this is what you do. When you meet with them again, they're not going to remember why, so you have to set that expectation. And this is literally what I would tell people. It's, remember this is, I have 2 goals. That's how it starts. That's how you set the expectation. You might chit-chat for a while, but when it's time to get down to business, Toby, I have 2 goals for this meeting. Now I'm repeating really all I said when I set the appointment. Okay, first, I'd love to learn more about your business, be able to pass on a couple of good quality referrals the next couple of days or weeks tops. Toby, I'd also like to give you the opportunity to earn my business. Now, do I have his attention now? I just told him it's okay for him to sell me. Right? No one else will do that, okay? If what you do can benefit me, I'd like to hear about it and give you an opportunity to earn my business. Is that okay? And let him answer. Now, I'm serious. I mean it. Like, if he has something I can use, sincere, thank you. If he has something I can use, why wouldn't I want it? Okay? So I'm going to give you the opportunity to do that. Now, what you finish with, that's goal 1. Goal 2 is the same thing, but from me to him. So Toby, my second goal is to share with you what I do. So hopefully you can give me a referral or 2 by the end of the week. I'd also like to have the opportunity to earn your business. If I can provide value to you, are you okay with that? So again, you need answers to those 2 questions. If you get a yes and a yes, you just made a sale. It's done. Now, you may not believe that yet, but it is. Okay, that is the deal breaker right there. Now, if I get any pushback on this, then this meeting just became a 5-minute meeting, right? If he's not open to listening, then I'm not wasting my time. Okay, and I'll be like, tell me about your business, that's cool, here's what I do, that's cool. Have a nice day.
Get back on the phone. So you're in your
Otherwise,
office.
yeah, otherwise, it doesn't take a long time, we're gonna do more, okay? So is everybody with me to this point?
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
Someone here asked me, what if they don't feel that they can give them a referral? What if they don't feel confident that they could?
Okay, so
send
good
them a
question.
referral?
Here's the reason you do this. The reason you do this isn't just to sell them something or to maybe find something you need. You're building your network, okay? Robin is our tax person. Here's the things I would ask you. If somebody asked you at the kitchen table tomorrow, I want to buy a house, do you have a lender or a realtor you could refer me to? Do you? If they were going to buy a house and needed a loan, do you have a lender you can refer them to? Do you have P&C people you can refer to? Do you have taxes, accountants, CPAs? Those are all of value to you. So I may not have one right away, but if I'm active in meeting people, I'm going to develop, and we have, okay? It's a big benefit to you to have all those people in your pocket.
Right,
Because your clients will ask you for some of the goofiest crap ever.
yeah.
Okay, I mean, my favorite example has been about a month ago. Somebody asked me, hey, do you know a dog groomer? Well, I didn't, but I went and found one. And now that person's got coverage with me. I think I'm gonna hire him. We're getting there. But now I have a referral for that person. The more of those people you can put in your pocket, the more valuable you are to your client.
I usually have to get a dog.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And what I would tell you is, I wouldn't be afraid of, I don't have a referral. It's not just today, it's in the future. Because you will, if you're active, you will trickle people.
And couldn't you suggest that if it's a newer person that's wanting to do this, they could even ask their upline or somebody maybe for a referral if they don't have one? What do you believe about that?
Well, what ends up happening, Vicki, is like Robin is our tax person.
Right.
Right? Anytime I run across that, it's going to hurt. So I might be in the meeting and I overhear someone talking, man, our tax person messed it all up. I got somebody. I mean, that's what happens.
Right,
It's really, you're not really actively looking for it.
right,
It just comes,
sure,
if that makes sense.
yeah.
Okay? So the value to you is you have all these professional people that you can refer, which brings more value from you and your client or whoever you're dealing with. Okay? So we've been to the event, we met people, we set the appointment. Now
Can I
we
ask you a
met with
question?
them. Sure.
How do you describe the quality referral that you're looking
We're going to do that right now.
for? Okay.
Okay. So we're at the meeting, right? We're meeting together. And I should have brought this down, it's in my bag, but what I use is, it's called the Primerica Crusade brochure. It's has a picture of the home office on the front. And on the inside cover, there's like 6 bullet points about what Primerica does.
Yeah.
The middle section is 3 concepts. It's debt stacking, buy term, invest the difference, compound interest and debt stacking.
Vicky's got one, if you guys want to see it.
Let me go grab mine.
If you don't mind. So you go through those 3 pages, and then on the back side, it's basically talks about the company growing. I can go through, that's how I'm going to convey that. So again, we're meeting, right? Again, the first thing we're going to start with them, not with me. We're going to start with them, and then we're going to get to me. So I would talk to Toby about his tile business again. Hey, tell me about the business. How long have you been there? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? What makes a good referral? So he'll, well, as I learn about his business, which I sincerely want to know, because I'm putting his business in my back pocket if he's professional and good at what he does. He becomes the tile person for me. Yeah, this is it. So, and it's literally, you can go to Primerica Online, and in the download center, you can download this. You don't, if you want to have this, you can. Normally I have them and leave them. But the inside cover has 8 bullet points. We teach people how to get out of debt, save money, send their kids to college, obtain proper protection, prepare for retirement, and become financially independent while reducing their stress level, improving their quality of life, and helping people enjoy their life. That's what I read. Bullet points. I can do that in 30 seconds. Turn the page. Here's the 3 concepts: buy, turn, invest the difference, compound interest, debt stacking. By the way, this is growth. I can do this brochure in 10 minutes, maybe 15, because I really don't want to take more than that. I want to get to the question. Okay, this is what I use. So I would have asked Toby about his business. He tells me what makes a good referral for you, and I'm taking notes so I know what that is. And then what else did I tell him he could do when we met? Earn my business. So he does tile work. Maybe I found out he does residential and commercial, but I don't need any tile work right now. Now if I did, I'd say come over and measure or whatever. But if I don't, then I tell him, basically you disqualify yourself from needing what they do if you don't need it. You need to address that because you told him you would, right? So, okay, I understand better what you do now. Man, I got hardwood floors in all my house, and we just redid them 2 years ago, so I don't really need what you do right now, but I understand your business better, and I'll be able to refer some people to you. So I'm done with that part. Now it's on to me. So, as we talked about in the beginning, my second goal is I want to share with you what I do. I go through this, right, like we just talked about. Okay. And then, these are the 2 questions I ask. Okay, I get through this, and he may have a question or some input there. And my first question to him is simply, hey Toby, let me ask you, who handles your personal life insurance? That's it. I'm not asking for an F&A. I'm asking for one specific starting point. So what are they going to tell you? 1 of 4 answers, what would it be?
I have some.
Don't have any, work, have cash value, have term. You all remember the life insurance quadrant, right? 1 of 4 things. Then you know the answers to them. And if you don't, that's a whole other subject, but you learn the answers to that. If he's got no insurance, or he depends upon his company for group life coverage, I'm going to dime, quick quote, and mark that right there. Dime. Does everybody know what dime is? Anybody with me? Okay, dime is just a method to determine how much coverage someone has. It's on the top of the second page of our presentation. I've dimed him out. Now I know what he needs. He needs $400,000. He's got $100,000 to work. hey Toby, how does $100,000 gonna take care of what this 400,000 is? It's not. Okay, everybody's got the app on their phone. Pull out your app, quick quote it. 400 grand is $75 a month. You want to keep your 100, add 300 to it, it's $60 a month. What would make sense for you? Now, here's the real beauty of this. Because many times you're dealing with a business owner, they'll make the decision right there. They don't have to go talk to anybody because they're used to doing that, right? So you don't have to, it doesn't turn into some big long process. And I've done that. Okay, it works. If they are married and they want to involve one of the wife or the husband, that's fine. You can always set a time to do it, or just do him now and then go back and catch up later. You can still write just his policy. Then you can add the wife or the husband later. But I want your expectation to be something happens. It's not set another appointment. It's not later. Time is not your friend in this business. When you're in front of somebody, do it or don't. Okay? So I'm going to do that. Now, if he has cash value or term, I have to get more info. Because he won't know what it is, he won't know the terms, so then I have to set a time to get back together, bring your policy, and we'll go that route. Okay? So these networking meetings end up with two questions. That's one. Who handles your personal life insurance? Then you go down whatever route it takes you yourself out. That's up to you. But if you can get someone like that. So I'm asking for those names. Who do you know like that? I ask them to pull their phone out. They'll give me some names. And that's just more referrals. Okay? And then finally, I'm going to try to recruit them. Probably the number one goal. So, we'll talk about if he likes his job, doesn't like his job. Now, if it's a business owner, you're probably not going to walk away from the towel business he's been doing for 10 years to work with us. But there's also this thing called silent partner, which you could recruit to, which again, I'm not going to really get into right now, but they're just different ways to do things. Okay? All right, so this kind of summarizes it all. And again, I'm a card-carrying pest personality, meaning you gotta have things in order. So step by step, your goals from networking are these three things. Recruiting, okay, and if you haven't figured it out yet, that's the business you're in. You're in the recruiting and field training business. If you're not in that business, you become self-employed. Okay, which means you got to do tomorrow what you did today to get paid. That's not a business. You can do that somewhere else. Okay? Thank you. The second thing, of course, is life insurance sales and doing F&As. But I start with the life. Remember, the question we ask is who handles your personal life insurance? That gets me started. Then I can do an F&A if it makes sense. And you're going to trip, absolutely trip over investment stuff. It's insane how easy that is. Okay? And the third thing we talked about, it is sincerely to develop a network of trusted professionals that you can refer business to. So if I have that group of people that I know, it makes me more valuable to anybody I work with. It makes you more valuable, right? Find a BNI to join if you're full-time. Find 3 to 4 networking events you can go to monthly. Develop what we call your power group. And those are those occupations I mentioned earlier. Realtors, mortgage lenders. If you get these folks, people you know and trust and can refer business to, you might not have a referral today, you might not have a referral next week, you might not have a referral next month. Sooner or later you will. And once you do, and you refer business to them, what are they going to do? Now they're like, oh, he was serious. And they're going to show stuff back. Now the one thing I would add to that is you have to teach people how to refer business to you. Okay? Just because they say they will, they won't. Okay, I have a mortgage lender in our BNI group that I sat down with last week, and I literally taught her during her lending process, here's when you bring up life insurance, here's how you mention it to them. Okay, specifically, I don't know if you know this or not, but if you buy a house, and we just bought this lake house a couple months ago, that becomes a matter of public record. And you will get tons of solicitations for life insurance in the mail. We've gotten like a dozen. So all I told my lender was, listen, all you gotta do is tell them that. Mr. and Mrs. Client, when you settle on this home, you're gonna get 10 to 12 offers in the mail to sell you life insurance. You're gonna think that's a good idea, but you're not gonna know any of those companies, you're not gonna know any of those people. I work with someone I know and trust that can help you with that. Can I give them your name and number or put you in contact with them? I had to teach her how to do that, right? So when you have these people in your life, you have to teach them how to refer you. Does that make sense? Okay, it just, yeah, I'm gonna refer you. I love you, Toby. I'm gonna give you everybody I meet. Maybe I'm cynical, but most people just don't do what they say they're gonna do, okay? So you wanna make that effort. Does that make sense? So, and then finally, you know, this all sounds good and it's cool and I can tell you it works. It doesn't matter that it works for me. It has to work for you. But in order for it to work for you, you have to learn it and you have to do it. Just like any other part of our business. But it's very efficient. It leads you to hire quality people, or at least it has me. And I mean, that's how Robin and Darryl are sitting here. We met them in our BNI. Okay, the P&C person in our group, we will eventually hire. I mean, she does P&C, property and casualty, full-time, makes $3 grand a year. That's almost every P&C person I've ever met. Unbelievable. Okay, and maybe it's $6 grand. It's not a lot. Okay.
They only got one product. We've got multiple offers.
So you're in the right situation. That makes sense. You just put yourself in more chances to win. And this really isn't that hard. But you do have to practice. You do have to get it down. Don't worry about screwing it up. Okay, this is no different than the rest of the business. Start where you stand. Just go do it. If you want to talk about any of this in detail, I'll be happy to go through it with you more. We got all this stuff in writing. I give it all to you. But again, you just have to execute. Okay? All right, thanks.